You're looking for something to do this Friday? How about the Sofia Theater in Sacramento? Going to feature some of the region's best storytellers on its historic stage. ABC 10's Marcus Allen, you've found some compelling people this morning, I'd say.
Yeah, good morning to you, Walt. I know I'm preaching to the choir because you know much about the B Street Theater and more specifically the Sofia. Look, if you're entertaining people from out of town, take a look inside. This is a beautiful showcase, really a world-class destination experience. And this weekend, it's going to be quite amazing. Specifically Friday, the show is called In a Nutshell. Compelling speakers like this guy. If you'll join us back here live, meet my new friend of the last couple of hours, Max Houghton. Max, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, so Max, you're one of the speakers, and I'm going to have you tell your story, but I'll let you know what I know thus far. You're former law enforcement, then you did some crime, you did some time, you were incarcerated. During your incarceration, you made a choice, and that becomes the subject of your experience that you share on stage. What was that choice?
Well, I had a real hard time keeping my mouth shut, and that got me into some trouble. And so I took a vow of silence, and I decided I wasn't going to say anything for 6 months. It turned into 8. And when I closed my mouth and opened my ears, I started learning things that I never would have believed I could learn.
That's amazing. So imagine, if you will, taking the better part of a year off speaking. And what are other ways that it changed you?
I learned that people have a lot more in common than we think. We're all more alike than we are different, and if we take the time to get to know people a little bit, we can find out all kinds of things about ourselves too.
Yeah, so his story is truly unique, but some of the things that got you there could have happened to anybody. During the opioid crisis, you fell victim to that. You injured yourself on the job, you became addicted to opioids. You probably didn't see down the road in your lifetime that you were going to be holding up an armed robber, essentially.
Yeah, I didn't get hurt on the job. I got hurt on a horse at home, but it didn't matter. I was still hurt, and at the time the protocol was just take these pills and everything will be better, and it didn't get better. And I got hopelessly addicted to that stuff, and it took incarceration to get me off of it.
And from what I've heard about your show, the bulk of your show is really you telling other people's stories that you met while you were in there, people that otherwise wouldn't have a voice.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are never going to get out of there, and they have stories to tell, and those stories maybe are some of the most important stories that we need to hear, because we need to figure out how to keep people out of there.
And also, this might not be the thing, like on a Friday night, you might not think this would be the kind of thing, but your story truly is also entertaining and compelling and a great night out.
Thank you. And there are other storytellers coming that are funny, and I try to be a little bit funny when I tell my stories, but it's a very serious story, and so it's kind of hard to do that. But come and see the other storytellers. They have jokes and stories to tell, and it's going to be a great time.
Awesome. Yeah, I would pay to see you talk, and I've learned so much from you just this morning. So, Max, one of the storytellers, In a Nutshell, is the name of the show. In a Nutshell is Friday night, the Sofia Theater, home of the B Street Theater, but this weekend, make it In a Nutshell. Back to you, Walt.
You know, you visited with Max earlier. He's so compelling, has such command. We ought to send him to Washington, D.C., let him spend a month with some people there and try to fix some stuff. But Mark, I'm glad we had a chance to meet with Max today. Hopefully folks will go to a show. All right.